Hello there, paper time! Here I am, like Rio Ferdinand, International Week. I've got back issues, but that doesn't stop me working in front of camera. Now, this week's press full of dirty draws. First off, in the Champions League. Now, last Friday, you'll recall, saw the teams decided for the quarter-finals. PSG, of course, got Barcelona. L'équipe called them Le Gros Poisson d'Avril, a big April Fool. Interesting reading that. El Mundo Deportivo in Catalonia saying PSG, that spells para seguir ganando, all set to keep winning. Other options for the paper apparently were pretty simple game and please select golden balls. Elsewhere, a Bild, we're all groaning about Bayern's upcoming date with the old lady, with Bastian Schweinsteiger explaining underneath, Italians are good at ripping you off. Bit strong. And over at Malaga, La Opinion has everyone goes crazy for Malaga with some nice folk there. This man displaying his ticket proudly, his wife, a hairy growler. Woof indeed. Real Madrid, meanwhile, avoiding the other Spanish sides and getting the gimme of the round. Galatasaray, a stroke of luck that the Catalan press couldn't help but comment on. Apple Nicosia last year, says El Mundo Deportivo. The Turks this time round, however do they do it? Well, this Thursday, of course, former Turkish referee and draw veteran Ahmet Şakar gave his explanation, saying UEFA used vibrating balls to rig the draw. Remember last December, say Marca, when the draw for the last 16 was exactly the same as the rehearsal had been the day before. Yeah, it's the point of rehearsals. Well, potentially it is the biggest draw scandal since Michael Phelps, but it's not the only controversy around this week. There's also Mourinho, who's been talking ballots again. This time, all about FIFA. Here we go in sport. Moo accuses FIFA of doing fraud with Del Bosque. Yep, this was all about the Manager of the Year award back in December when Vicente Del Bosque picked up the honour. Now, though, says Jose on Portuguese TV, lots of my friends told me they voted for me, but their ballots were counted for Vicente. FIFA knew about this and did nothing to stop it, continued Jose, who also suggested in the same interview that Spain was a difficult country to be Portuguese in. Is there an easy one? Well, Goran Pandev confirms the story over in the Italian press. Here we are in the Gazzetta. My vote for Mourinho ended up for Del Bosque, but the Spain boss himself describes it as childish. As for the papers, well, El Mundo Deportivo call this Moo's latest jihad, and they point out that the manager has been coming out with an outburst like this pretty much every day since he beat Man United at Old Trafford a couple of weeks back. Why? Well, that, says the paper, is the million-dollar question. But it does seem like Moo wants to leave Madrid as a martyr come the end of the season, a Joan of Arc, if you will, or Moan of Arc, perhaps. Anyway, come said end of season, according to the Madrid press, he'll be heading back to where his heart lies. No, not the Premier League, but Inter Milan. And the story this week in Marca, getting confirmation both from the Corriere dello Sport in Italy, here we are, Mourinho to Inter, the truth. They say he's even selected his assistant manager, Marco Materazzi, and from an interview he did last week with an Inter jersey casually draped over the back of his chair. Now, final item for today, and it is Francesco Totti. While Frank Lampard was becoming a double centurion last Sunday, ironic because he won't be one of Romans much longer, in Serie A, meanwhile, Francesco Totti was becoming the second highest scorer of all time, against Parma scoring his 226th goal for Roma. That's 48 short of Silvio Piola's all-time record. And, says Francesco, I won't stop till I beat it. It's interesting to note the parallels between Lampard and Totti. They're both midfielders, they both play in the capital, they both are called Frankie if you squint a bit, and they both wrote books that make people laugh. But it is a phenomenal achievement by the Roma captain that's earned him plaudits from all the papers. Actually, let's start with the Corriere dello Sport, where he largely attributes his incredible form this year to his two spells under the former Roma manager Zdenek Zeman. Nice to see him getting a bit of praise. Totti also ruling out for now a return to the Italian national side, which is a shame because that's exactly what the front page of Tuesday's Gazzetta is calling for. World Cup Totti the headline there. We have to bring him to Brazil. Manager Prandelli saying, if he continues to play like this, how can I not consider him? Inside the editorial, striking a slightly more cautious note, he's 36, you know, says the paper. Let's hope that Prandelli does have other options. Still, what a player he would be to bring off the bench. So, a potential international return for Rio that might never happen. Where have I seen that this week? Anyway, that brings us to the end of this week's paper review. We'll be back with more Euro talk next Friday, so do join us then.